Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're watching this, then I'm going to be giving you the lowdown on Korean banking. Not as exciting as I made it look. So yeah, Korean banking. So you've moved to Korea, you need to bank and manage your finances. How are you going to do it? I'm here to answer those questions for you too. I'm joking. I am not an expert. I'm just speaking from my experience. And also I have not gone about banking in the route that a lot of people who have made this kind of video have done, or like the route that they have gone. I have not done that. So this is a little bit of a different take. So yeah, I bank with NH, Nonghyap Bank. Here in Korea, there are several banks. There are Woori, Shinhan, NH, Nonghyap, Keb, I think KB. Is KB a different one? Yeah, and I don't know if I forgot any. If you can think of any that I forgot, please leave them down in the comments. But yeah, point is, you've got options. I bank with Nonghyap. The reason being is that I am an English teacher, which means that I get paid by a school, and most schools, at least in Chungbuk, I can say safely, use Nonghyap as their bank. And very likely your school is going to want you to use the same bank as them to pay you, because then there's no like transfer charges or fees. So yeah, I just I didn't really have an option. My co-teacher just took me to Nonghyap and was like, okay, you need to open an account here, you don't have a choice. And I was like, okay. So yeah, but you do have options. And what most foreigners do is then they open another bank account at a bank of their choice. I already have 2 bank accounts in South Africa and then like 1 here, so I don't really want to open another one. And also I have found that Nonghyap is very useful and they do all the things that I need them to do. There are like a couple of cons, but I will get into that. So yeah, you want to set up your bank account. How do you do it? What do you need? I don't know, I'm doing this in such an infomercially type way, but yeah. What do you need to open a bank account in South Korea? So when you go to the bank, first you will need an English speaking Korean person. This one is optional. I would recommend it though, because a lot of the time you don't know what English ability the teller is going to have, like the person who helps you at the bank. I've been really fortunate in the sense that I either have enough Korean to engage with the cashier or teller, or I don't know what you call them, or they speak really good English and they just like start in English, and then I'm like, oh thank God. So yeah, you never know. So I just, for at least opening your account, I'm not saying for every single visit, I would recommend going with an English speaking Korean person. If you are a teacher, you are more than likely going to go with your co-teacher, or I heard that some people's entire education office takes like all of them at one time, which I can imagine is very overwhelming for the poor tellers. But yeah, my co-teacher took me and she kind of did all of the talking, so I don't really know how it works, but I know that, like, I mean, step by step I wouldn't be able to tell you what happens. All I know is that I signed a heck of a lot of documents and she explained them to me, and none of them sounded like I made any blood ties with anyone. So yeah, and then what you need is you just need your ARC. So you need to wait for that to come before you can open a bank account. Your ARC is your alien registration card, so basically your form of identity in Korea. You need your passport, you need a Korean phone number. You need a Korean phone number to open an account, and then you also need a proof of employment. I didn't deal with that. My co-teacher already had like a copy of my contract, or I don't know what it was, so I'm not sure exactly what it has to be, but you need a proof of employment to open a bank account. And then what they will do is they will set up your bank account, and then they will give you a, I'm not going to show you in very close detail, they will give you a card, a security card, and they will give you a bank book. So this is the very interesting thing, is the security card and the bank book, because we don't do this in South Africa. I don't know about America, but basically what a bank book is it has like all of your transactions or records of like the amount you have in your bank account will be like, you can get that updated and put into the bank book, so it keeps track of your finances basically. And if you say forget your card, you can use this at an ATM to draw money, so that's pretty cool. And then they'll give you like a security card. This is just phone numbers. They'll give you like a security card. The back is like where it's going to have a bunch of different numbers that are customized to your bank account. And then that card is for like when you're doing online shopping or whatever the case is, to authorize that it really is you who is making that purchase. Or like if you are sending money home through the bank website like remittance, then you need to input like the pins that are allocated to your security card. So I actually lost mine and had to get a new one, so this is actually really important because they have to like register a new one for you and block the other one. So yeah, that was a fun bank trip. They will give you these 3 things, and then it is up to you to then ask for cell phone banking and online banking. 2 different things. I don't know, like usually I think I remember in South Africa when I opened my bank account, I just kind of asked for online banking and then downloaded the app, but everything was kind of linked. I can't really remember because obviously it was a long time ago, but yeah, here it's like 2 very separate things and you need to ask for them separately. I had to actually go on a separate occasion. Like I opened my bank account, then my co-teacher, I don't know what she did, but yeah, at the time my Korean wasn't that great, so I couldn't really follow what was happening. I just kind of assumed I had online banking. But yeah, anyway, I had to go on a completely separate trip on my own to set up my online banking and cell phone banking. But yeah, it can save you time to, when you are setting up your account, ask them for online and cell phone banking, and then they will set it up for you themselves. So the only thing is that in Korea you get like a digital certificate type thing, which will be, I guess this depends on your bank, but I'm speaking from Nonghyap experience here. Luckily that certificate will be like kind of linked to, they link it to your app, so whenever you need it for something else like your online banking, you can just transfer it from your phone to your PC. Like you can send it via the Nonghyap website, or yeah, I don't know, and then you can have a copy of it on a flash drive or whatever. It's just it's not that complicated to use. I just don't know how to explain it. But yeah, you get like a digital certificate which you need for security for other things. So I'll put in a picture of the apps that I have. Nonghyap is pretty cool because they have like a main app. I never use it. Then they have like a Nonghyap, sorry, I must check the names. They have a main app, and then they have the Nonghyap All One Pay app, and then that one lets you make like transfers and stuff really easily. But then they also have the All One Banking app that's green, and that one does everything in one app. And then they have the NH Global app, which is for like remittance. I haven't done remittance on my phone, I've only done it on online banking, so I'm not sure how that works, but I will just leave the screen grab up for you guys to see. And then yeah, their website, they have an English website, or like you can change the language to English for the online site, so that's great. And you can change it, I think, to Chinese as well or something. They really cater for foreigners, and a lot of people say that Nonghyap doesn't cater for foreigners. I don't know, I feel catered for myself personally, but yeah, some people go to different banks because they feel like Nonghyap is not foreigner friendly, but maybe it's just my city. The Nonghyaps here are very helpful, but I'll get into that. But yeah, that digital certificate will like be your security thing. Like you can log in with password or log in with your certificate type of thing, or like there'll be certain things that need your certificate to work. And then yeah, you have your cell phone banking, your online banking. They work in the same way that it would work for any country, I suppose. Okay, and then the last thing would be remittance. Another thing to ask for when you like get your bank account, or just another time that you go to the bank. I've had to make like separate visits for all of these things. It's quite annoying because I have to like take the time out of my, I'll get into that. But yeah, for your remittance, when you set it up, I went a separate time. So obviously if you're setting up everything in one go, you're not going to have to present documents each time. But like when I went the next time, I needed my ARC and my passport. Pretty much anytime you visit the bank after you've already set up your account, that's all you'll ever need is your ARC and your passport. And then I always just take my bank book just in case, because I don't really use it, so just in case they want it, or I don't know. And like it has your account number in it, your bank book, so I don't actually know my account number, so I rely on that. But yeah, you will set up your remittance. I don't know how you set it up, because I kind of just went there, told her what I wanted to do. I gave her like the Korean word for it. That's like all I knew. I also very much suggest downloading Papago. I'll put the icon over here when you go to the bank, because like sometimes they speak really good English, but some of them don't, and then you can just put in whatever you need in Papago and show it to them, and then they'll just do whatever you said. And they might ask you like to double check what you mean, so it would help once again if you go with a Korean person, if you don't speak Korean at all. But you don't have to, you can do it yourself. I've gone plenty of times and just shown them the Papago and it turned out okay. So yeah, don't worry about it, you can do it. But yeah, she kind of just set it up for me, so I don't know what she did. She didn't really ask me to sign anything. She was just like, I think you can do it now, and I was like, that's it? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then yeah, I think some other banks do it in a different way, but in the end all I had to do was log into my online banking, and then there it was like set apply for overseas remittance. And then it's not really an application, it's like a form, and then you just fill out all the details. You fill out like your bank's details back home, you know, like the SWIFT code, the branch code, stuff like that. And then you can actually save that so that the next time you can just use the same details, because you're sending it probably to the same account each time. And yeah, you apply for it. If you do it within working hours from 9 to 4, then it can go in the same business day. I think for me, the first time I tried it, it sent in the same business day. But if you do it outside of those hours, then it will be processed the next business day. So the only thing, this is the only downside about Nonghyap remittance, is that it has very limited currencies. So when I send money, keep in mind there are bank charges to this. It's not awfully expensive, but it's more expensive than it needs to be. It first transfers from Korean won to US dollars, or like there's a list of 7 currencies, but I'm just going to use the dollar because yeah. Korean won to US dollar to South African rand. So remember, now you're losing money when it converts from won to dollars, then you're losing money again when it converts from dollars to rand, depending on the exchange rate. So that's the only like I think maybe another bank would, I'm not sure, but maybe another bank has more currencies, and so you might not lose as much money. If you're from like America or the UK or whatever, then you'll probably only have one conversion. But because I'm South African and it's not like a commonly used currency in the world, I had to do 3 conversions. So I lost quite a bit of money the first time I sent money, but it wasn't awful. So just watch the exchange rate before you send money. And then I would also recommend, if you're going to send money on a given day, send it before 12 o'clock and try to send it as close to 9 as possible, and you'll have it like before you're done with work that day. So then the only last thing about banks in general in Korea that's a gripe is that their working hours are 9 to 4. If you are an English teacher, you are at work from 9 to 4 unless you teach at a hagwon, okay? So that's really inconvenient. You have to take like out of your vacation days to go to the bank, like even if it's just a few hours. Or you need to go in on a Sunday. There are branches that open on a Sunday to cater to foreigners because they couldn't go during the week. I don't really do that. I just take the time off on like a Friday afternoon or something. But yeah, regarding English speaking, like I said, your teller either will be able to speak English or not so much. They kind of have to be able to, I think, for the qualification that they study. But yeah, there are some English speaking branches, I've heard. I haven't been to one, but yeah, they are. so don't worry too much about that. And then yeah, for the most part, it's not like, once you get the hang of it, it's like whatever, but setting it up can be a little bit of a headache. So yeah, I hope this video is helpful in some sense. Like, I hope that it kind of gives you an idea of how it works. I didn't go too much into detail, but yeah, if you have any questions or anything you would like to know about banking in Korea, maybe leave it down in the comments, or you can send me a DM on Instagram. I'll put my handle over there, and then I'll try to help as best as I can. I'm not an expert, once again, but yeah, I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe and comment, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm posting, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.